Hi, it's Tom Lynch, and after posting the question out there on Facebook and Twitter as to whether or not there'd be English educators and English teachers interested perhaps in exploring computer science in ELA, I was excited and surprised by how many people responded. So the big question was kind of what are some next steps? What are some things we might be able to do? That sort of thing. So I thought it'd be easier to show you what one way we might be able to move forward. And the idea would be to kind of focus our efforts behind a kind of campaign, if you will. Something along the lines of like hashtag CS for ELA. There's already CS for all that's out there. It gets quite a bit of attention, and there's some good resources and things that are kind of gathering around it. But what if there was CS for ELA? So I put up together relatively quickly. I put up together a CS for ELA website and sort of communication infrastructure that we could use if we want to move things forward. So let me just walk you through real quick what the website looks like. You can go to CS for ELA, number 4, ELA.org right now. And when you go there, you'll see something like this. I might make some changes to it as I keep kind of tinkering and figuring things out. But the idea is that it's a main website that just kind of pulls together some basic resources. So there's some curricular resources that have been developed. I've developed. I'm sure there are others out there, and as we find them, we can put them all on here. And there's a newsletter as well, which we could have kind of monthly outreaches to folks who are interested. And if you are interested, just sign up for the newsletter now. It takes just a couple seconds. And we could also have like some Twitter chats at the hashtag CS for ELA. And we could also set up a separate Facebook group, which would take us over here. And this is where we could have more of a dialogue in kind of an environment that folks are used to, that being Facebook. I set it up as separate from other private groups that might exist already. In addition to that, up here what we'll see is there's a page that's called Inquiries. It would seem like if we are going to have kind of a sustained dialogue and just sort of in kind of piloting of different sorts of projects and things around CS for ELA, then we might want to have some inquiry questions that were kind of guiding us. So I put just 3 down here now that we might want to consider. If you want to weigh in and give some comments on it, click on that link there. It brings you to a Google Doc where you can leave comments, and we can set a time to come back to that. In addition, over here under principles, the idea behind principles is that there are particular kind of driving or guiding principles that we might want to consider. What I mean by principles are kind of statements that kind of help us bridge the worlds of computer science, software theory, things like that, and English education. And so I put 4 down just as a start. They're not in stone at all. But again, you click on the link and it can bring you to a Google Doc where you can offer some comments. And then up here under practices, over time, it would make sense, of course, if there were particular best practices that started to emerge. And so we could keep track of those and document them here. I put the same 3 resources that you see over on the homepage. They're here just to give a sample of kind of like what this could start to look like over time. And then finally, there's the roadmap, and this is one that I think this one's probably very helpful. This is a proposed roadmap for how we might move forward as a collaborative or an initiative or a network. We'll have to figure out what terminology makes sense. But the first step might be to form the CS for ELA network through Facebook, Twitter, and then a newsletter website. That's what this video is kind of suggesting we do as a next step. At NCTE in November, I might suggest that we hold some sort of informal meetup. Then as we move into the spring, we might explore some CS activities and projects in our respective classes. That could look a lot of different ways, but we could even use some of the resources that I've put up on the website that I've developed. There's some other stuff that's out there as well. Next would be we might hold a meetup at AERA. Also in the spring, it would be possible to hold like a virtual lessons learned session. So if there are folks who are exploring some CS activities and projects, then we could hold a virtual kind of lessons learned session. And then finally, in the summer of 2018, one thing that started to occur to me was that it could be really interesting and useful to possibly hold some sort of free online workshop or course or webinar or something in the summer for teachers and teacher educators. And so I put that there as kind of like a concrete goal we could work toward. Undergirding all of this is an ongoing use of the Twitter hashtag CS4ELA, in both on Twitter and also in the Facebook group. And also, so using that hashtag both in the group on Facebook and on Twitter is what I mean to say there. And that's it. That's the kind of gist for now. So if you are still interested in working toward better understanding the role that CS, computer science, might have in ELA class, either from an English education standpoint or as a classroom practitioner, then here are some next steps. You've checked out the video, that's awesome. Go to the main page at CS4ELA and put down your information for the newsletter. That will be that'll be a very sort of helpful way to keep a running log of everyone who's interested. It also just makes sure that you'll get monthly blasts when they come out. Also, promote the site in some of your networks to see what other people think. Use the hashtag CS4ELA when sharing it, both on Facebook and on Twitter, and that helps us on a social media kind of analytics standpoint. It lets us keep track of who's doing what. Finally, consider joining the Facebook group for CS4ELA, just so we get everybody kind of all in one place. All of these things take just a couple minutes. You could do it all in less than 5. It doesn't cost you anything, and it would give us it would start to kind of build out our network a little bit, and it would make the next steps, I think, really clear and concrete. So I hope that was helpful, and I think I did it in under 5 minutes, maybe a little over. But thanks a lot for expressing some interest. I look forward to seeing where this goes next.